Hello lovelies, good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial we are going to be making this bridal robe and the inner dress as well. So if you're interested, please stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. Okay, so we are going to be taking this step by step. First of all, we are going to be tackling the inner robe, okay, before we tackle the main robe itself. Okay, so let's get right into the video. All right, so guys, I'm going to begin with the inner one. Okay, so right now I've folded my fabric into 4 and I'm ruling my starting line because I'm going to be cutting my skirt pattern first. Okay, so I'm going to minus my half length from that, and I'm marking my shoulder to my low waist, shoulder to the hip, and also the length that I desire. Okay, so I'm going to mark the length here, and then I'm going to add 1 inch of seam allowance to that, and I'm going to go ahead and then roll this across. Okay, so just like you're seeing, I've created my vertical and horizontal line. Okay, so the next thing is to go ahead and mark quarter of my waist measurements on my waistline, quarter of my low waist on my low waistline, quarter of my hip on my hip line, like that, and I'm going to be connecting these points together. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my hip measurement minus half an inch. Okay, just to connect this down like so, and then once I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and then add. So guys, I'm going to add my seam allowance of 1 inch to all my sides, and once I'm done, I'm just going to connect these points together like you're seeing. So I've extended my zip line. I'm going to mark my zip allowance. Okay, I mark 1 inch for my zip allowance, and then I'll connect this point together. Okay, so when it comes to my waist area, I'm going to reduce my waist by half an inch and add it to the sides. Okay, so I'm marking half an inch for my zip, and I'm going to blend it to my hip line like you're seeing. Okay, and then once that is done, I'm going to return the rest of the half an inch to my side. Okay, for the waist panel. Okay, so I've added half an inch back to my waistline, and then I'm just going ahead to blend this up. So I'm reducing my waist by 3/4 inches, and I'm going to blend it to the side. Alright, so just cut this out. Okay, and once you're done, just trim the half an inch from the front. Okay, so I have this panel already drafted out for the top. My yoke, I'm adding some few inches to that. I have bustier with the yoke. I'm going to be linking that in the descriptive box, so you check that out. Okay, alright, so guys, once that is done, just take away all your pins, remove your panels. I have 2 each for the lining and the main fabric. Same goes for the back, 2 each for lining and main fabric. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and join all my bodies together. Okay, I'm going to join this right sides fitting each other. I'm going to do the same thing for the other piece, and I'm also going to take my darts for the back, matching the waist side. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing for the lining as well, and also for my yoke. Okay, I have my front and back yoke. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this in by half an inch, and also sew the armhole down by half an inch. I'm going to do the same thing for this side as well. Okay. Okay, so guys, I'm done joining all my panels. Now I am trimming the excess out of my yoke. So make sure you do this neatly. Okay, trim it carefully and neatly. So I'm trimming all the excesses that I don't need to enable me get a very nice, yoke. Okay. Once everything is done, I'm just going to go ahead and then sandwich my shoulder panels together, and I'm going to be sewing them by 1/2 inch. And after I am done sewing, I'm going to trim off the excess that I don't need, just like I did for the sides of the yoke. So I'm going to align this and then align the sides together. I'm going to sew by 1/2 inch. I'm going to do the same thing for this panel as well. Alright, so guys, I'm done. I'm going to be putting my velvet ribbon that is in a silver color, and I'm going to be attaching that to my to the neckline of my yoke. Okay, so once that is done, I am just going ahead to sandwich my yoke, okay, in between my main bodice and the lining. Okay, so I've already pinned this down, and I'm going to be sewing by 1/2 inch. Okay, and once I'm done, I'll make a top stitch, and also I'm going to do the same thing for the back panel. Okay, so I'm going to just sandwich this in between. Okay, so I'm going to sandwich this in between the yoke. I'm matching the side seam because I added some allowance to the yoke, so I'm matching it to the side seam because I am going to be sewing on that allowance. Okay. Yes, so keep subscribing to my channel. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also leave your comments, because that comments motivates me a lot. So I'm just trying to check the inches I have there, and then I'm going to go ahead and pin. Guys, don't mind the ice cream, someone just gave it to me. I'm not really a fan of chilled stuff, so I just put it there, forgetting that I was filming. Okay, so just don't mind that, let it be. Yeah. Alright, so after pinning the back as well, I've done my sandwiching, and I pinned my zip line for the back. So I'm reducing my back waist by 1/2 inch. Okay, that helps me take away my zipper bulge from the back. Okay, so now that I'm done pinning, okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and then I've already attached my back up already. I'm going to go ahead and just attach my skirt panels to this. Okay, so I'm grabbing my skirt, and I'm going to be attaching this to my waistline. I'm pinning this down. I'm going to be sewing this down by 1/2 inch. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the back as well. And guys, I'm done pinning everything down. Okay, here is the pinned dress. I'm just going to sew by 1/2 inch. I'm already done with the stitching. Okay, as you can see. Yeah, so I am just going ahead to attach my zip. Okay, this is an invisible zip. I have already used paper stay to secure the back so that it stops it from stretching. Okay, so I'm going to hem the bottom as well, and once that is done, this is how it looks. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and then match these right sides facing each other. Okay, and I'm going to sew by the allowance that I left, which is 1 inch. I'm going to sew it all the way through to the bottom part, and that brings us to the end of the inner tutorial. So now back to the bridal robe. Guys, I folded my fabric into 4, okay, and the length that I will be needing here is 60 inches for this length, because I'll be adding some extra ruffles to the bottom part. That is extra 11 inches to the bottom part. So I'm just going ahead to mark my original shoulder measurement, and then I'm going to mark 3 inches at the bottom, and I'm going to connect this to the tip of my fabric. Okay, so from there I'm going to connect this point. Sorry, my cameraman leg came into the video, sorry for that. So I'm just connecting this to like where my folded edge is. It's kind of difficult to see, so I'm just going ahead to cut this out. All right. Okay, so guys, once this is done, I'm just marking my neck, which I don't really need for the front. I'm marking my neck width as well, and I'm connecting the back piece like so. So once I'm done, I'm just going to cut out my back neckline and then separate my back panel from the front, because I'm going to be marking at about 13 inches for my front neckline, going to connect from there to the nape of my neck. Okay, so once that is done, I'm just cutting out my front neckline, and then I'm taking the length that I need, which is 60 inches. Okay, but I'm adding extra 2 inches to that to make it 62, because I actually don't want to waste the fabric, and it's not bad if your bridal robe is long. Okay, yeah, it actually makes it more beautiful. So separating my back from the front, and I'm just going to slash the front panel open, because that place is supposed to be open so that we can attach our ruffles to that end. Alright, so after that, I'm just separating my back from the front really well. I'm going to taper the ends of the front to give it that curve. Okay, that curve that you can see on the robe. Okay, yeah, so I'm done with that now, and we are done with the main bodies for the robe. So I'm just matching my necklines, my shoulder, and I'm going to match the front and back like so, and I'm going to stitch by 1/2 inch. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to match this and then sew it by 1/2 inch. So guys, the next thing I'm about to cut is my sleeve. Okay, so I'm just going ahead to mark where my sleeve is supposed to, and from there we are going to be stitching the rest of the sides, but not now. So for my sleeve, guys, I folded my fabric, okay, into two. Okay, I have it double, so I mark the 10 inches sleeve opening, the length that I need. Okay, so I've marked the original sleeve length plus extra 4 inches, okay, for my sleeve. And then for the sleeve opening, I'm just going to use the fabric width that I have here. Okay, so I've just cut my sleeve. Okay, so for the opening, I'm just going to use the fabric width I have here, which I think it was about 13 inches. Yes, so after that, I'm just going to shape my sleeve. Okay, so I'm just going to cut from that 10 inches point all the way down to the side of my sleeve. Okay. All right. So I'm just taping this bit for the sleeve. Okay. And then once that is done, I have my sleeve ready. I'm going to set that aside and then we move to the ruffles. So I'm cutting 3 inches each, okay, for the ruffles. I'm going to cut as many as I can. Someone will definitely ask how many yards did I use for this. I used 20 yards for this bridal robe. Okay, so if you want yours more fuller than mine, you can use like maybe 25 or more. Okay, so I'm just cutting that for the ruffles, you can see. Okay, for the sleeve, yeah, it's still 3 inches each, so I have a lot here and I'm cutting more in addition. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to set that aside. Okay, I've set that aside and I have my 11 inches one also ready for the bottom part of my bridal robe. Okay, so that's all for the cutting for the bridal robe, and I've joined my shoulders now. I am now pleating my shoulder to my original shoulder length. Okay, so this will enable me get more fullness around the shoulder area. Okay, so just I've joined the shoulder and now I am pleating that. Okay, so I'm going to hold down those pleated ends with some edge stitches so that it will hold them in place. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and begin with my ruffles for the sleeve. Okay, so this is how we are going to do it. Okay, I'm going to pick up one of the 3 inches fabric that I cut. Okay, and I'm going to gather it with my hand. Okay, so you can just go ahead and then make your gathers ready and then just attach it to your sleeve, or you can just do it like I'm doing. I'm just gathering it, making the ruffles with my hand. Okay, so one thing you want to notice is make sure the volume of the ruffles you are making with your hand is equal. Do not make some heavier than the other. Make sure they balance really well so that when attaching this, it comes out really beautiful. So if you know you can't handle the volume of the ruffles you make at a time, okay, make sure you gather this first, okay, before you attach it to your sleeve. But I'm doing it this way because it's quite faster. I'm going to be doing that all over my sleeve at 2 inches, which will be overlapping by I think 1 inch, okay, from the first one. Okay, just like you're seeing. So I'm going to do this layer by layer, and I think I made it overlap by 1 inch. Okay, for the ruffles it overlapped the down one by 1 inch. So just arrange it row by row by row by row till you are done. Okay, so back to the robe. Okay, I'm going to go ahead as my sleeve is done. I'm going to join that sleeve to my robe. Remember the 10 inches opening that I made. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and attach that to my sleeve. So I'm going to find the midpoint, and then from there I'm going to attach this right sides facing each other. I'm going to just go ahead and match the midpoint and sew this down. Yes, so so once I am done with that, I'm just going to go ahead and close the sides. I've already pinned that. Okay, so I'm going to close the sides by just 1/2 inch. Guys, make sure you leave a sewing allowance on the sleeve. Okay, so if you're attaching your ruffles, attach it away from the sewing allowance. Okay. So guys, I make these bridal robes and others. So if you want some, contact me via my Instagram page or my Facebook page, and then get yours delivered to you as soon as possible. So for the bottom part, okay, the 11 inches ruffles that I made, I'm going to be using that for the bottom part, but I'm going to start at my waistline. Okay, so from my waist all to the down part, all the way across, climbing up back to my waist. Okay, so just like I did for my 3 inches, I'm just going to do the same thing and attach this. Okay, from my waist, I'm attaching this all the way down to the floor length and then back up to the waistline. So I'm just going to go ahead and then indicate my waist length, so that when I am attaching this, I know where to start from. So I'm just going to go ahead and then notch this just to enable me know where my waist starts. Okay, so from there I'm going to attach my ruffles all the way to the bottom part. As you can see guys, it is simple. Yeah, it is simple to make. I mean, the steps are simple, but it is not simple to make. It is really time consuming. So I made a belt to kind of belt on the bridal robe, and this is how it looks. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. If you like this robe, please make sure you place an order for yours. We custom according to the kind of color you want. So don't forget also to subscribe, share this video as much as you can, comment and tell me what you think below. Okay, so thank you for having me here. Have a blessed day. Okay, have a blessed day. Follow me on the Couture on Instagram. On Facebook, follow me on the Couture. Also join my Facebook group on See with Anne. Okay, See with Anne on Facebook. All the link is in the description box. Make sure you check that out, and then follow me on those pages. My number is in the about. If you have any orders for me, please contact me directly on WhatsApp, or you can contact me on my social media pages. Thank you all for joining me today. Stay blessed and have a nice day. Bye bye.